Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna try to do this digital journal. I might do a couple throughout the day because ain't nothing really going on. I'm like one of the few people here. So I did one on social media. I'm ashy as hell. I did one on social media talking about the effect social media had on Minneapolis and the effect that it had for me. I'm rough today. I definitely need to get it cut next week anyway. Um, so I talked about that. I talked about the effect on social media that it had, on Minneapolis. Um, what I thought about it. I just posted a couple, um, a couple jobs. There was one in Atlanta, and then there was a data center position. Now remember, I told y'all about the data center, layer one. That pays like $23 to $24 an hour. That would have been. It's in Anoka, Minnesota, so that's kind of out there by Coon Rapids and um, a little bit north of the city and whatnot. But I think that will be a good opportunity. And I sent it to one of my guys. I said, man, you could start off with, if you have data center experience, you can go anywhere with that. That's one thing that AI is going to have trouble touching. They're going to need, at some point, it'll get into that. You might have robots and stuff, but man, you need people in the data center dealing with that layer one. Of course, it's not the most technical, it's more of a physical thing, but I'm telling you, I highly recommend you guys to consider that. I'm actually going to screenshot that and put that in the chat. Um, so that's something you might want to look at. Um, I kind of went back and I started kind of strategizing. Remember, I told y'all I want to get back more into app support. So I go directly to the source. I start talking to application managers. I put a name on faces. I said, okay, I'm going to start making some things to do. Anytime you have somebody asking you, and you're a contractor and they're asking you how busy you are and stuff, they're supposed to be divvying out the work. I said, all right, I'm going to make some work. Some guy came up to me, not part of my job description whatsoever. That's supposed to go to somebody else. Guy comes up to me asking questions about OneNote. I said, okay, I could take a half hour out of my day. I start talking to him. He turns out to be an app manager. He turns out to be the person that I want to talk to. So sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes, you may not always want to, but if you're in an environment that's open and people are open to talking to you, go talk to them. Get where you want to be. Start finding out about applications and certain things that they support. So, and I let them know, look, I seen some openings and I have this experience, I got that. Now, some people may say that's too becoming. But if I know these positions are opening and that the guy's door's open, then I'm about to go see about that. I'm about to go see what's up because the manager's right there. I'm going past HR. HR does the political stuff. They look at that. But he's gonna remember my name. That guy helped me. And that's what you want to do. That's how you quote unquote move ahead. I'm not, when I get into the office and stuff like that, I don't talk all the time. You see what I'm saying? It's not something that I do. I don't talk all the time. But if I need to get some information and I'm trying to get somewhere, that's what they call well, they used to call it smoothing or whatever they call it. But if you talk to people, and that's the thing, you're gonna want to talk to people to get where you want to be. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately, that's what you should do. You should, be open to talking to people. I'm gonna be one of the few people. There's not gonna be a lot of people at work. So I get to kind of clear my head. I ain't got to hear a bunch of, muffle and stuff like that. And I can just go ahead and just get some work done. Then I can just go and I could work on other things, and I could, I could apply. A lot of things that I was targeting was a lot of the business system analyst positions. That's what I had been looking at. Because as I said before, business system analysts, you might deal with APIs. It can mean almost anything. They might be a certain sector. That's why a lot of these positions will say technical. It'll say technical support. But that could be DevOps. With business system analysts, you might be supporting just a small percentage of applications. And you might just do that. So it usually is not ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket. You just kind of just do your, I'll show an example. I'm gonna find a video or something to show an example. So what's gonna be coming up next? It might be a story time where I go around Minneapolis. It might be a story time. I'm trying to think of where I want to go. Last time I did St. Paul and I did the North Side. I might do a story time where I'm kind of walking around. I was thinking about Nicollet or something like that. I might do a story time, and then I could kind of break down some of these stories or whatnot. But I got to do something about this memory on my phone. It's a lot is taken out, and I don't want to get rid of it. The thing about the Apples is they don't allow you to increase the memory. But I got a cloud app, but it seems like it's just taking up a lot of my space. I got to figure that out. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna upload this and see you in a minute.